Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Grace Space. I'm Marisa. Thank you for joining me. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little candid today. It's going to be a little long. So if you're cleaning the house or you're driving your car, this will be a little longer episode of me just kind of being very transparent with you all about unexpected setbacks and how it's really transformed my life, from getting laid off from my corporate job to closing the space that me and my husband built for 7 years, and how really it's a lot. It's really hard. It's been hard. But I feel like this is a great space for me to just open up. I haven't spoke about it with really anybody other than close friends. And this is the space that I really wanted to build for myself in order to just start sharing situations that I've been going through to get here. And one thing God does know, that if he puts me through something, I'm gonna share it with somebody. So sit tight. This is the Gray Space, and this is what we're gonna be talking about today. So let's get into it. Getting laid off. So if you are working in today's climate, if you've turned on the news, if you have just stepped outside, you know the world is changing. You know that people are getting fired, laid off, let go from their jobs left and right. All the major tech companies, it's hit everybody. I think back in the day, it was really taboo to talk about, but if you go on LinkedIn now, you see looking for a job, hiring, stories about people getting laid off. And I am not exempt from that. Uh, 2 years ago, I wasn't looking for a job. I was building my space, Law Create Space, and I got tapped on the shoulder. I have a career in tech. I've worked at all the major companies. I dreamt about working at Apple. I worked at Apple. I worked at Beats by Dre. I've worked with some amazing creatives. I'm a producer, so I work in the tech space and design and platform and product. And so at this moment, 2 years ago, I was not looking for a job. I was thriving in, Law Create Space. We had just came off of a national Super Bowl campaign with Nike. And they tapped me on the shoulder. And one thing about me is, if you hit me with the buzzwords, we have an opportunity to grow with the community. We have an opportunity to teach people. We have an opportunity to build something great and advance our people. You're going to get me with that. And that's what I'm learning about myself too. And where I'm building I want to say boundaries, is if you use those buzzwords with me, because I'm not going to say, I like to support underrepresented people. I am an underdog in my heart. So when you get me with that, I'm joining. So Nike came to me, we're building a team. We have this opportunity. And honestly, Nike's one of those companies, is like, yeah, I wasn't looking for it, but this is like kind of a dream, right? And I get to build a team. I get to support our communities. We get to teach people things. We get to advance our people. You tell me something like that, I'm jumping in, right? So it took me a few months to really negotiate my salary and really organize my family in a way where I felt comfortable taking on this role. And so I took it. And it was exciting at first. We were working in the Web3 space. We're traveling, we're exploring all these amazing ideas. And finally in my life, I kind of felt like in the corporate space, like, oh, wow, I belong. Like, my voice is being heard. I don't have to pretend. So in this role, I was very, very careful about ensuring that this wasn't my identity. Most people didn't even know I worked there. I was at a place where I really wanted to balance my home life, my work life, my entrepreneur life. And I really felt like this was an opportunity for me to, yes, keep my boundaries, but show up how I show up in all areas, where you're not code switching, or I'm able to, really grow my life all around. And so that's how this role was kind of presented to me. And that's how I felt like I was going to tackle it. But Shortly into the role, I realized, hey, maybe this is not what this is going to be without getting into so granular details. But the culture usually is a sensitive space when you're in these corporate spaces of how people who are outside of the culture kind of talk about it. And what becomes what I found to happen was I started really trying to protect the culture and fight for representation and ensure that we are seen and heard, kind of what was promised to me that was going to happen. And it was really felt like more of an uphill battle than something that was just naturally going to happen in this space that I was in. And so it felt more like I was becoming the revolutionary, that personal person. It started to feel like I was becoming more of confrontational and really like, oh, am I the community girl? Am I the girl that's just going to fight for us? Am I going to be the girl that has to speak up in uncomfortable situations? Am I the girl that has to say, oh no, that's probably not the best thing to do, or that's not the person that we probably should be working with if we're going after this demographic? And that became exhausting year one. I remember year one, around the holidays, I felt really depressed and like sad and almost like, dang, what am I doing? Year two, going into it, I was like, you know what? I have real skill sets. I've been working on platform, I've been working on product my whole career. I'm going to focus on that. I am no longer going to be that girl that is fighting for all of the DEI, SEI initiatives. I'm going to focus on the skill sets that I have built in my career. And that's what I tried to do. But unfortunately, I felt like who I am is who I am, right? And it's just going to show up regardless. And so that was year two. And things started to rumble in the company, and fast forward to the layoff, like it was bad. I mean, not just for me, for so many people, for so many families. I am not trying to isolate my situation, but it just felt like we were a number, just like a herd of people on the phone supporting each other, like, okay, you're up next. Okay, what happened? And I was really shocked. I think one, because I worked with people so close to me, I just knew they were going to protect me. And that didn't happen. I was really in shock, and it hurt. And not because of where I worked, it was more so of how it happened. Really feeling like, yeah, I was going to be protected. I fought so hard for so many things, and it felt like nobody was fighting for me. And so after it happened, I talked to so many people in the company. I got the words of encouragement. I got the fake words of encouragement. And I really knew at that moment that the relationships that I built at Nike, the ones that were authentic, showed up so differently for me. And to this day, I value and appreciate those relationships, because the ones that I thought I had, it was every man for themselves. So fast forward a few months, I was very quiet, very sad, just trying to keep it together. It all just felt like a blur to me. Still trying to like take what we had built as a family with our business and salvage that, because I felt like I was away for so long. Almost like, not like I neglected it, but like, where do I pick up those pieces of what I built? Because what we built as a family is what even drew attention to these corporate companies to even reach out to me to begin with. So trying to deal with all of my emotions, feeling like I'm falling into a depression, like, what can I do now? Like, where do I go? Fighting, I feel like, starting arguments with my husband, like, just being in a panic with money and my kids and life, and just not expecting this to happen to me. So I feel like I was able to sit in my emotions for like about a month. And after that month, we took the family to Atlanta, got to hang out with Megan and her family and just really be around culture. And soon enough, I got a phone call, and it was the city of LA asking La Create Space to come and produce an event for them, which was a great opportunity, very lucrative. So it was just like picking myself up, out of this sadness of losing my job, but like really knowing that there's an opportunity here and how do we navigate that? So I can navigate that in my sleep. So, my husband and I, we called up our team, we prepared, we flew back in from Atlanta. The next day we hit the ground and we produced this amazing event with the community in the city. That was the first moment where I was like, maybe there's something here. And sure enough, we just kept getting these opportunities, with a very good number to it, right? To produce activations and events. And this is what I really went to Nikki to do anyway, right? Is to produce events and workshops and create beautiful campaigns to represent our culture and our community. And that's where my passion lies. And so I was getting these one-off opportunities for Law Create Space and to work with my husband and to figure out like how we can take all that we've done in our business and do it off-site out of our physical space. So by month 2, I'd say we got another opportunity. By month 3, when Juneteenth came along, amazing client hit us up to produce an amazing Juneteenth event. If you follow me on Law Create Space, go check it out. All the photos and videos there with amazing actress. And so I'm like, it is very interesting that my business that I built with my husband and my family, are getting these opportunities just outside the physical, or just not inside the physical space, but like literally activating cultural moments in different places. This is kind of interesting. And so we had to look at our numbers. I'm still trying to talk to people at Nike, talk to all these people like, I need to get my job back. There's still opportunity for me to get my job back while all of these other things are happening with our business. And sure enough, I think, tension started to hit and we were faced with reality where it was like, okay, we're making good money and getting great opportunities through our business, Law Create Space, but it's not the physical space. And the physical space is starting to become more of, not I want to say a burden, but it's an overhead cost. Anybody in entrepreneurship knows low overhead, right? Like when things aren't adding up, when things aren't making sense, you got to look at it. And I think in our community, a lot of times, a lot of emotion is placed in business. And I was talking to a good friend, is like, that's where we kind of mess up. And it's not our fault, right? We opened up our space. I was pregnant with my first baby. She grew up in that space. There's so many memories attached to that space. Of course, it's emotional. But when we really sat down with the numbers, we really sat down with like our family and like the dynamics, and we spent so much time, but the physical space isn't making enough money. Like we had to then come to the realization like, hey, we might have to close this thing. And that wasn't something I necessarily wanted to hear. I think it was a reality that I was slowly coming to grips with because I didn't go there as much. I wasn't really involved, arguing with my partner, things like that. It's just like, dang, I think that this might be another almost loss that we're going to have to take. And so fast forward, we made a decision as a family. It was very, very hard, but God, as we were prepping to close the space and we sent out a note to everyone and all our partners, we get hit with another huge opportunity with a returning partner to do a activation, an event for the community. And so in closing the actual space, we get this opportunity. And so I didn't even really have a lot of time to grieve closing the physical space. It was really just emotion that we were going through. Okay, get the trucks and get the people to help. Okay, send out the invitations to our farewell. At the same time, planning this amazing event opportunity through our business, but it just looks differently. And I think as I reflect on both losses, there has been so much gain in that loss. It just looks completely different. It does not look, how I intended it to be. With the Nike job, I wanted to go in and help community. I wanted to go in and, educate people and, go around and give opportunities to people. I wanted to show up for our community. With the business, same thing. We set out to have a space for community, have a space for creatives to learn and grow together. And although it didn't pan out exactly how I envisioned it for myself, it did its job. It ran its course. It put me in rooms and gave the business and myself opportunities that I would have never gotten if I didn't take those leaps of faith, right? And so I guess my message for this is, yeah, it sucks. It sucks to have to lose a job. It sucks to have to close down a business. It sucks to have to come to the realization that how you may have planned, prepped, and executed a vision didn't pan out the way you saw it. However, nothing is in vain. And all of those moments and all of those opportunities and all those conversations only prepared you for the moment that you're in now. And it is very cliche and it sounds nice and pretty, but I am a living testament that although I don't want to say I'm upset. I feel like I just haven't talked about it, which I'm doing now. I can look back in this moment right now to know that everything that happened did prepare me to show up for myself in different ways. And I am literally sitting in the transition right now. And a good friend of mine had told me, Marisa, like, don't fight it. Don't try to go get your same job back. Don't try to go talk to the same people and looking for, a different result. Like, lean into your gifts, lean into your peace, lean into, the people who love you. And that's why I even brought up, like some of the relationships I did meet at Nike. The people who truly cared about me just showed up differently. And I love them for that. They know who they are. The people that checked in on me, and really had opportunities for me, like it just looked differently, or just had advice for me. It just looked differently from those who, were just some coworkers. I was actually very shocked that certain people didn't reach out to me. I was really hurt. And I can look back now and it's like, almost like, fuck them. You know what I mean? Because I am going to always show up as Marisa. I am going to always show up as the person who cares about humanity, cares about, unrepresented people, cares about overlooked people, because I'm always overlooked. I'm always, looked on or looked down upon, almost as if I don't have the experience. And I've done it to myself where I have, dimmed my own light in those situations, and never again, never again. And so I just want to encourage someone, because I know the climate is bad. I know the job market is bad. I know everything is high. I know, trust me, like I would wake up and just be like, how did I get here? I was so scared. But as you'll see in these episodes, it's like I just had to ground myself, whether it was through fasting, whether it was through making bread and waking up in those quiet mornings and kneading the bread, just getting grounded with myself and like seeing there was proof of life in something, from flour and water. It sounds crazy, but being grateful for just flour and water, because as you see around us in the news, there are people that don't even have that, and finding gratitude in just moments like that. I just want to encourage you, because you are enough. Everything that you worked for this moment, you are enough. And it's okay. I'm sorry. I was not going to cry. I have not talked about this. People will make you feel like you're not enough. People will make you feel like you did too much or you said too much. But no, like you are enough. In this world that we have just been accustomed to, and that's something I didn't talk about, is like slowing the fuck down. Like, I had to get with my husband. Like, I had to get with my kids. I had to slow down and clean my own house, right? Because, oh my God, I look crazy. I had a cleaner come every week, and it's like, girl, clean your house. You're at home. Clean your own house. Set the tone for your family. And that's what I felt like I really had to do in these times, because I had given all my time to this job, and not saying we all want jobs, we all need money and all the things, but like in those times where it's like you really ain't got nothing going on, like cherish those times, because if you sit with yourself, it may be ugly, it may be uncomfortable, but like God is trying to get your attention. And for me, it's like, girl, okay, I gave you all this. You need to stop looking for other people. You need to stop looking for opportunities. I give you the opportunities. Okay. It's not them. I give you the opportunities. I didn't want you there. Okay. They were not treating you right. They were not utilizing your gifts right. I don't want you there. And the first couple months, I'm fighting that because of my ego. I'm like, no, I'm going to get back there. Like, they made a mistake. They fucked up, which they did. But like, that's not what God wanted for me. It's like, take care of your family, Marissa. Take care of yourself. And that's where, yeah, as you'll see, again, the fasting and the working out and the just taking care of me. Another cliche, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of anybody else. That is really true. That is really true. And I'm just grateful for my husband, because it's like, closing the space, losing jobs, all these things. Like, we could have gotten a divorce. He could have left my crazy ass. I could have left him. Like, I could have just went and done something crazy, but we stayed together. And even now I'm like, damn, it's October. Like, how did we make it this far? Just untouched. We haven't needed anything. We haven't gone without. We still live our life. We still have our kids in their school. Like, we have not went without. And that's something else I want to share too. Is like, yeah, you may lose something, but like, God is not going to let you go without. And He has not let us go without. And that's where my gratitude comes from. I'm rambling now, but I really feel like right now times are hard and people are, go on this side, go on this side. No, you need to stay with yourself and the God that lives within you, because those are where the answers lie. Nobody can promise you nothing. Nobody can give you what you need but you. And that's where I'm going to leave this. I shared a lot. I do plan to unpack more. You know what I mean? Again, like, this is for, I know, the millions of moms, dads, anybody without kids, going through a layoff, going through feeling like you're lacking something. You're not lacking anything. Everything you need is inside you. Even with me turning on this camera, right? Like, I could say I need a cameraman and an editor and this and that. No, you don't, girl. Turn on the camera. You have an audience. Someone will appreciate your story. And so I hope that you appreciated me opening up a little bit of my heart, giving myself grace again, that I don't have all these answers, but what I do have is God. I have my health. I have a roof over my head, and I have people that love me. And so find gratitude in those little things. I appreciate you again taking this moment to give ourselves grace. If you have any stories that you want to share about loss, please, 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 please don't leave me out here alone. Put them in the comments. Share with me. If you want to see anything, if you want to hear more about, the journey that I've been on with my career, I will be happy to share more. Again, give yourself this grace. Thank you. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will be back with more tips on how I've been navigating this crazy life of mine, but also finding the grace in that. So thanks again, guys. I'll see you again. Bye. My little Libra girl. What do you want to say? What do you want to say about when things don't go your way? What can you do? What are some things when you get upset and things don't go your way? What are some things you can do?
So when you're upset and things don't get your way, you can maybe just like calm down, take 3 deep breaths, and you can like think of something like 4 things that make you happy, and you can think of things that make you happy and joyful, and you can maybe just imagine about that.
What are some things that make you joyful and happy when you're upset? Things don't go your way.
So maybe I just go in my room and play.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I read a book and sometimes I draw.
Okay, perfect. Give yourself grace.
Or sometimes. And also when I want to talk about, I'm 6 years old. I'm her first baby. And my birthday is in October 19th. Hers is the 18th. And it's like super crazy because my friend, her birthday is the 18th of October. And hers is the October 18th.
Wow. Awesome. See you later, girl.
Goodbye.